This is my mom's recipe for
crab rangoon.
Combine your imitation crab with cream cheese. The ratio really depends on your preference. My mom likes to make hers with a little bit more cream cheese. Add in the sesame oil, garlic powder, and salt. Make sure everything is evenly mixed. Then grab your wonton wrappers and rub the edges with water. This is going to act as the glue. Add in a dollop of the filling to the center. Pinch the sides diagonally together like this. And there you have it, a perfect crab and cream cheese wonton. Fry at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 minutes. These are ready to be served and enjoyed like...
Of course I'll show you how to make an over easy egg, and it is not a silly question. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. That's how you learn. First thing you're going to do is set your stove to medium heat, not too low, not too high, and then you're going to need a good non-stick pan. If you don't have one, you're going to need to use some cooking spray or some butter. Once that pan's hot to the touch, crack your egg in there and don't touch it. You don't have to do anything right now. I will make sure the egg is centered directly over the burner, and then you have about 30-40 seconds of doing nothing. This is a good time to hit it with some P&S. Now, once the thinner whites along the edges are cooked all the way through and you just have the center raw whites, hit it with some water and cover it. Now, here's the deal. An over easy egg does get flipped, but a lot of people are intimidated to flip eggs and afraid to break the yolk. Doing it this way, we will still achieve that over easy egg without having to flip the egg. Keeping it covered on low until that water evaporates produces a perfect runny yolk every time.
Growing up, my mom refused to buy pasta sauce from the store because she believed homemade is healthier. So I'm going to show you her 15-minute creamy rigatoni recipe. Boil your pasta and in a separate pan, combine garlic, chili flakes, onions, and your two main herbs, oregano and rosemary. Next, as shown on the screen, add in crushed tomatoes, a spoon of sugar, milk, top it off with mozzarella and pasta water. It's so easy, and that's why
I told y'all there's food at home. Let's make cheese stuffed garlic knots. My great-grandmother used to take me to get garlic knots at the best pizza shop in Queens when I was younger, and I've been hooked ever since. I love to put my own twist on the knots and add my favorite cheese from Kerrygold. Tie the dough around the cheese in a knot, add the butter mixture, and bake. It's so simple. The aroma that fills my house while it's baking just has that nostalgic pizza shop smell and calms me during the holiday craziness. These have easily become a staple in my house, and I love making them around the holidays for something tasty to munch on while I'm busy preparing for the festivities.
Tiramisu is my all-time favorite dessert, and it's super simple to make. Growing up, it's been part of every family gathering, and traveling through Italy, I've tried every variation. Here's how to make the best one. To start, brew a batch of coffee and set aside to cool completely. Then separate 6 eggs. Whisk the egg whites until peaks form and combine caster sugar with the egg yolks. To the egg yolk mixture, add the mascarpone and smooth ricotta and give it a good mix. Once the mixture is all smooth, slowly fold in your egg whites. By now your coffee should be completely cool, so it's time to booze it up. I like to add Baileys, but you can add any coffee liqueur that you have. Dip your Savoiardi biscuits into the coffee and pack tightly to create a layer in your tray. Pour over half of the cream mixture and spread it evenly, then dust over some cocoa powder. Continue dunking the biscuits into the coffee and create a second layer until your tray is full. Pour over the rest of the cream and spread evenly. Then cover in cling wrap and place in the fridge to set overnight. Here's a little trick Nonna taught me. Place some toothpicks in the top so the cling wrap doesn't stick to the cream. Remove from the fridge right before serving and dust the top layer with cocoa powder.
When I have a leftover rotisserie chicken, I make chicken pho in under 30 minutes.
1 onion, 2 ounces of sliced ginger.
This is rock candy sugar. If you can't find that, just use regular table sugar. About 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, some salt.
Here's our spices: cinnamon, star anise, fennel, cloves, coriander.
I put all those spices in a spice bag. If you don't have it, just toss it in and scoop it out later.
And boil for 30 minutes.
This is a brand of rice noodles I like to use.
Boil for 1 minute so you don't overcook the noodles.
It's been 30 minutes. I'm gonna take the chicken out and shred it.
Wow, it smells so good. Fresh squeeze of lemon or lime, sriracha, a little hoisin sauce.
Follow for more easy recipes.
Let's make this really simple and delicious chicken pot pie. Generously season your chicken and cook it all the way through. Remove your chicken, but leave all that juice in here. A sprinkle of flour and butter milk or heavy cream, our chicken stock, add our frozen veggies, and our chicken back in, top with puff pastry. Bake it and it's ready to go. Flaky, crispy crust. Let's dig in.
Here's how you cook cabbage.
Let me show you.
You need to eat more veggies. Let's make broccoli soup. 3 pounds broccoli crowns. Remove the stems and the florets from the stalk. The stems are sweet and delicious. The stalks are fibrous. Can you cook with them? Yes. I don't like it. It screws up my soup. 2 leeks. See that? They're dirty. Whites and light greens. Save this for chicken stock. Chopped. Soak them, triple wash them. Dry them. 1/4 cup unsalted butter. Add the leeks, with the salt, pepper. Saute until tender but slightly caramelized. Just like that. Cover heat. Push your salt. Add the broccoli. Cover. Let it bubble 4 to 5 minutes until tender crisp. Strain. My homemade chicken stock. Add half of the hot chicken stock. Add the leeks with all the butter. Work in 2 batches. Chunky smooth. No snow. 1/2 cup. Heavy cream. Push your salt. Warm it through a couple minutes. That's the texture you want. Garlic croutons for texture. Goat cheese because you fancy.
Using the last of your eggs.
Do you want the yolk or the whites?
I'm stealing the yolks. Yeah, basically that's how you separate a bunch of egg yolks at once. So all it is a custard, which just means it's like a liquid that's set with egg yolks as it like heats up and then cools. Heaping tablespoon sugar, maybe a little more. More than 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Because salt makes every dessert taste better. Tiny bit of vanilla. Yeah, that looks good. Basically gonna break it up, slowly heating it up, and it'll start to thicken like a lot. Something like that, but yeah. Add however much sugar you want. Put over this thick. Cool.
Wow.
It has to cool down completely for it to set.
Oh my. Yeah. You petting my cat.
Hard. Ooh. That drip drop, dude.
I'm gonna teach you how to make the perfect rice without a rice cooker. Welcome to day 33 of Little Chef, where I teach you how to become a little chef. Listen, I am team rice cooker, but I know a lot of you don't have them, so I'm gonna teach you how to do it in a pot. First, you're gonna rinse your rice until the water runs clear. I hate measuring things, and that's why I love this method. This works for any amount of rice that you use. The water should come up to the first line on your finger. And if you have big hands, I would do about halfway. The tip of your finger should just hit the rice, and if the water comes up to that first line, you're good to go. Bring your rice up to a boil, and as soon as it hits a boil, turn it to low. Give it a quick stir and cover it for 17 minutes. And do not touch the rice. If you stir it while it cooks, it's gonna get super gummy. Take it off the heat and fluff it with a fork. Bye, little chef.
Let's make toasted tuna onigiri. Let's get cooking. A can of tuna. Add in mayo. PSA, you have to use Kewpie mayo or it just won't turn out right. Pepper. A little bit of sugar. Now mix it all up together. Alright, with wet hands, grab some rice. Press it down and add in some filling. Now you want to wrap the rice around the filling. Now shape it into a triangle. Now wrap a piece of seaweed at the bottom. And ta-da, you've successfully made an onigiri. Now you can stop right here, but if you want to get that A+ for this assignment, brush it on with a little bit of mayo. And then toast until golden brown and crunchy.
So something a little bit different today. We're going to talk about chili oil, and yesterday I made dan dan noodles and I used some citron chili oil as part of that dish. But first, for infusing the oil, I'm using some star anise, cinnamon stick, citron peppercorn and bay leaf. Now for the spice mix, I'm using some Korean gochugaru. You don't have to use this, you can just use normal chili flakes, and then also some chili powder, along with some salt, sugar and sesame seeds. Now for the secret ingredient, Chinese black vinegar. Just trust me on this one, the black vinegar is going to add additional flavor and fragrance to the chili oil. Now chop up some ginger and smash up some garlic, then grab a small saucepan and add in the spices to toast gently. and then add your oil. I'm using a neutral oil like sunflower oil. Simmer on a medium heat until it looks a bit like this. Ideally, you want to be gentle with this as the garlic can burn quite easily, so I like to turn the heat off and then let it simmer for a few more minutes and let the temperature drop just slightly. Just a tiny bit so that the heat doesn't burn the chili flakes. And then you want to carefully pour this into a heat-proof jar and in batches like I'm doing right now because my jar is pretty small. Mix it up as you go and it's going to smell insane. And just look at that color. It is bloody gorgeous, I'm telling you. You can store this for up to, I think, 2 months, but to be honest, I finished it way before that, so it's all good.
So easy. So easy. I made mayonnaise in 30 seconds. I don't even like mayonnaise. And it's really delicious. 1 egg. Don't break the yolk. Lemon. Roll the lemon. You know why. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Dijon. Pinch. Kosher salt. 1 cup avocado oil. Cup the yolk. Don't move it. 20 seconds. That's it, baby.
Are you using box mix for your pancake? Ooh. We're gonna make pancakes the old school way. Look, alright, 2 cups of flour.
Half a teaspoon of salt. 1 tablespoon baking soda.
1 tablespoon of sugar. Just give it a little whisk. 2 eggs. Whiskey business part 2. 1.5 cups of milk. Your 2 eggs. 1 tablespoon vegetable oil. Mix, but be kind to it. We want to keep those air bubbles.
That looks like a pancake batter if I ever seen one. Non-stick skillet. Yes, I know it's scratched. Butter in. Medium heat.
Just enough for a thin layer on the bottom of that pan.
Wait for the pan to get hot. Apparently I lost my ladle. You can also use a measuring cup. Once your pan is hot, scoop and ladle onto your pan. Cook 2 to 3 minutes. Flip them all, and then 2 to 3 more minutes. I just really hope The Rock would be proud of this. Classic butter pat.
Yes, sir.
Now when I do breakfast, I do it pancake style.
Don't you dare. You're better than that. We're making it from scratch. This is how you measure. Makes a difference. 1.5 cups all-purpose flour. 1.5 teaspoons baking soda. Half a teaspoon kosher salt. 2 tablespoons sugar. Whisk. 2 eggs. 3/4 cup whole milk. 1.5 teaspoon pure vanilla extract. Whisk. That's the texture you want. Let it rest 10 minutes to relax the gluten. Canola oil, don't use butter, it'll burn. Evenly coat your griddle, you can also use a non-stick skillet. Ladle your batter. Add your blueberries. Who likes chocolate chips? Cook 2 minutes. Flip, flip, flip.
Now this is dim sum menu, guys. Everybody's been asking me about this beautiful Moroccan breakfast. It's called dim sum. Apply some honey of your choice or butter or whatever you like. And here we go. Bismillah. Followed with some minty. All-purpose flour. 1 cup. Semolina flour. Also 1 cup. Salt, half a tablespoon. Add water gradually. And if you don't have semolina flour, please just go ahead with all-purpose flour. It's all the same, but let it really knead real good until the dough is this consistency and it's not fighting you back. All right? Make small little balls of your choice. Cover and leave for 5 to 8 minutes, don't forget. Now, bismillah, we're gonna start with the first one. Apply some oil to your tray and then start working. Now I have melted butter with a little oil, semolina flour, and I have also cornstarch. Cornstarch will help it to keep it crispy. That's it, and then fold. Same thing here. Apply a little oil, little semolina, same here. fold, apply a little butter and oil, semolina, and just continue going, and fold. Same here. Also fold and fold, and put to the side for 5 minutes before you work on it, and keep on working, go around. Start with the next one. Start with your first one, spread it open with the help of a little oil, not too heavy, but just a little, just like this.
Let's turn this into this. Yeah, I'm going to show you how to make pear butter. Cut up your pears, put them in the crock pot. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of agave, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Put the lid on. We're going to cook it for about 3 hours on low. Then get out your immersion blender. Blend it all up. It's going to be runny like that, so we're going to crank it up to high. And we're going to cook it with the lid off for a couple hours till it thickens up. Let it cool down. Put it in a jar. You can use this on ice cream and oatmeal. Spread it on toast. It's awesome.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing.
Here's how you make Claire Saffitz's pear chestnut cake. Dice 1 pear and thinly slice 2 other pears. Mix sugar and chestnuts and salt in a stand mixer until it forms a paste. Add butter and mix until fluffy. Then mix in 2 eggs. Add half of the flour, baking soda, and baking powder mixture, followed by creme fraiche, and then the rest of the dry ingredients. Fold in the pear with some brandy. Spread into a buttered and sugar 9-inch skillet. Top with the sliced pears in a shingled pattern. Bake at 350 for an hour, and then finish with apricot glaze and some more sugar. You can find the full recipe from Claire Saffitz's book Dessert Person. Like and follow for more.
I told y'all there's food at home. Let's make brown butter ginger snap cookies. I'm not the best baker, but the holidays always reminds me of when I used to help my grandma bake when I was younger. She always had treats in her house, and ginger snap cookies were my absolute favorite. Browning the butter using Kerrygold's unsalted butter really helps elevate the flavor. Whenever I make these, I'm reminded of my grandma. She had this little green step stool that was just for me so I could reach the counter and help her. The holidays can be such a hectic time, but making these cookies really ground me and put me back in the holiday spirit. The sounds of the mixer and the smell of the cookies baking is just so nostalgic for me. Let me go call my grandma, matter of fact. I really hope that some of you can also find joy in the kitchen this holiday season.
Welcome to Nerd Jim Kitchen. Let's make Samwise's 11sies scones. In a blender, combine 2 cups of flour, 1/3 cup of sugar, the zest from 1 lemon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and pulse 4 times. Add 1/2 cup of cold butter and pulse 25 times. Now combine 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and beat together until smooth. Incorporate your dry ingredients and mix for 10 to 15 seconds, being careful not to overmix. Add 1 cup of fresh blueberries and fold in by hand. With well-floured hands, form your dough into a disc and cut into 8 pieces. You're going to bake your scones at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Now combine 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, 1½ teaspoons of lemon juice, and beat to form your icing. Drizzle this over your cooled scones, and you're set to enjoy lemon blueberry 11sies scones.
Let's make some boba shaped like Super Mario mushrooms. First, add water and sugar to a pot on low heat. Add tapioca starch, stir till sticky. Add more tapioca starch till a dough forms and knead until smooth. Then I'm going to section this out, shape like a mushroom, and add food coloring. For the eyes, I'm going to use poppy seeds. Take some light tan dough and add 2 little eyes. Then shape a mushroom cap and attach some white spots to it. And then we're going to attach these together just using a little bit of water so they stick. Make a whole bunch of these, so we're going to pour these into some boiling water, cook cover for 10 minutes, and let rest in the pot for 10 more. Now let's serve this up with an Italian soda. Add your boba first, then some ice, then some strawberry syrup, along with your club soda, add some cream, and then top this off with some fresh whipped cream. Throw some extra mushroom boba on top, and get ready to power up. What do you think I should make next?
Dodoko Marshmallow Tutorial. First, let's prepare a surface that will serve as our template and prevent sticking. Now we're ready. Combine water and gelatin in a bowl and set aside. In a pot, add water and sugar, then heat to 240 Fahrenheit. Pour the sugar into the gelatin and whip. In 5 minutes, you'll see your batter thicken. It'll be glossy and runny. Transfer to a piping bag and use immediately. Marshmallow sets quick, so our prepared guideline will help us from panicking. Use a toothpick to draw your details with gel food coloring. Cover once more with starch and remove it carefully with a strainer or a brush.
It's warm and sunny in California, so it's the perfect time to start making paletas with your kids. I'm starting with a water-based one, and you guys voted for mango with chamoy, so here's how I made it. Combine sugar and mango nectar or water, bring to a boil, stirring until it thickens, and then let it cool. Using a very ripe mango, reserve some small chunks, then blend the rest with the sugar syrup and lime juice until it's really smooth. You should have about 3 cups of puree. Make sure your popsicle molds have been properly sanitized, then start by filling the bottom with some chamoy, then tajin, then the mango chunks, then the mango puree about halfway, and repeat these steps again. You can alternate and add as much or as little as you want. I think a 3-to-1 ratio of mango to chamoy is best for most people, but I like a little more chamoy and tajin for mine. I didn't add that much to this batch because these are for the kids in my neighborhood. Somebody called me Monica from Friends, but instead of the candy lady, I guess I'm the paleta lady, and I'm okay with that. Anyway, you can mix the filling a bit for a swirly look if you want, then add the popsicle sticks about 3/4 of the way through and freeze it overnight. Then place the mold in warm water for 30 seconds to loosen the paletas so they can slide right out. Last week I showed you guys how to make a water-based paleta, but this time I'm going to show you how to make a cream-based one that is smooth and creamy, not icy or separated. You guys voted for strawberry flavor, so give them a good soak and a wash before cutting and reserving some chunks on the side while you blend the rest into a very smooth puree. For the cream base, combine heavy whipping cream, sweetened condensed milk, Mexican crema, and some cornstarch for our stabilizer, but cellulose gum would be better if you have it. This is what makes the paleta creamy. You can use this cream base to make any flavor paleta you want. I've listed a few examples on my blog if you want to see what else you can make. Fold in the strawberry chunks last, but before that, just make sure you mix everything together really well because the cornstarch needs to be fully incorporated throughout in order to prevent large ice crystals from forming. Pour the mixture into a sanitized popsicle mold, leaving a 1/4 inch at the top to expand. Pack it down, then place the popsicle sticks 3/4 of the way through. Freeze for at least 8 hours, then to remove the paletas, place the mold in some warm water for 20 seconds to loosen so they can be easily pulled out.